You a little short for a stormtrooper?
What's up, nerds? Welcome to another episode of the Multiverse Report. We are recapping the week's nerdy news from Mos Espa to Kahndaq and everywhere in between. I am one of your co-hosts, Mike Gibson. With me, as always, is Steve Haller. What's up, Steve?
I'm running out of breath, Mike. This is our third podcast of the night. If anyone hasn't seen it, check out our feed for the prior reactions to the Lord of the Rings trailer and the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness trailer. We've already talked a lot tonight, and we're going to be talking a lot more because this is a packed rundown.
A lot more. We were able to take one item off of our rundown, which was Lord of the Rings related, as we did a specific reaction to the Lord of the Rings trailer, and then followed up with a specific reaction to the Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness trailer. It was a bit longer than we expected it to be, a bit longer than the Lord of the Rings one. But now we are here to do our full episode, and we are starting off with Star Wars, ladies and gentlemen, a universe that we haven't visited in a while, I feel like, on this show. But now we're really digging in because we got word. We were talking about it a little bit last week, more in general.
Yeah, we got the poster and whatnot. Oh no, that was this week.
No, that was this week.
Oh wow.
I don't know why we were talking about it last week, but we were talking about how if Obi-Wan, the Obi-Wan Kenobi Disney Plus show, if that's coming out in May and it doesn't come out on May 4th, May the 4th be with you, then everyone involved is an idiot. That's basically what we said, more or less. Well, guess what? It's coming out in May, and it's not coming out on May 4th. Is everyone an idiot? No, because it's coming out on May 25th, which is the 45th anniversary of Star Wars, the original film debuting in theaters. So
yeah,
they straight up that makes sense.
Yeah, too. They straight up Doctor Stranged you and found the one situation where it makes sense.
Yeah, the one other possibility which I didn't think of. You're right.
Dave Filoni just sat there, held the one finger out.
It was a little finger. It shook slightly, and I knew what I had to do, which is watch Obi-Wan Kenobi on May 25th.
Yes. Absolutely.
So yeah, this is the 45th anniversary of A New Hope. We also learned officially that Obi-Wan Kenobi takes place 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. So that's 10 years into the Empire being a thing, 10 years into Darth Vader being Darth Vader, 10 years assumedly since Obi-Wan has seen Darth Vader. I feel like he's been in hiding this whole time, or at least that's what it kind of alluded to, a description of the show that I read this week, that he's been in exile on Tatooine watching over Luke.
And 10 years since the twins were born. So
yes, that's true. So Luke and Leia would be 10 at this point. Right. I didn't really think about that, but of course.
I'm getting vibes of Rebels.
Yeah.
And that
dude,
shot.
I know. Yeah, that shot that made me tear up when I watched it on Rebels. And I know that I know they're gonna do it, and they're gonna recreate it in some way in live action. It's gonna be worse, and I'm gonna cry like a baby as an adult man about a Star Wars thing.
Oh, it's gonna be one of those where my wife looks over at me like, "You okay?
What is wrong with you?" Yeah, I know. Yeah. Like, I'm sorry. It just means I can't. Honestly, I cannot describe why Star Wars affects me in ways that other nerddom things that I am in love with do not. Like even Batman, I'm a huge Batman fan. I love Batman so much, and I love all of the family, I love the lore, I love the universe, so many different stories I love. I've never gotten emotional. Well, that's not true. I've never gotten as emotional at any Batman anything than I do at Star Wars all the time.
Oh yeah.
And I don't really know. I don't really know what the difference is. I don't know.
It hits different, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
Even stuff that I don't think should hits different.
Yeah, I know. And I don't know that it's that I started experiencing it at such a young age.
Could be.
So it's been like, but I just watching Batman stuff. I you know what? I think it is that it's one continuity more than anything else. Because only one person's ever played Luke Skywalker, more or less, if you're talking about Book of Boba Fett, but whatever. Right. Like, still, Mark Hamill. He's the only one that's been Luke Skywalker, or been involved in the creation of Luke Skywalker.
Right.
There's been a bunch of different Batmans, And even in like Star Wars comics or Star Wars novels or whatever, you're still talking about one Luke Skywalker. You're not talking about this version of Luke Skywalker or this other multiverse version of Luke Skywalker. And Batman is like all over the place, and like the core of the character is still there, but like it's like one thing, you know? I don't know. Sorry, that was a little tangent there.
No, but if we see a 10-year-old Luke silhouetted by a binary sunset, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Yes, because you know that's the guy that you've grown up with in your heart for so long, and now he's just a little guy, and he doesn't know what's in store for him. And
he has no idea that in 9 years he's gonna, blow up a giant moon. Oh wait, that's not a moon.
It's a space station. It's just, I don't know what it is, and like people that aren't into Star Wars like just don't get it at all.
Oh yeah. And I don't expect them to. Like, more power to you.
And I don't expect them to. I don't expect them to. Yeah. I had a conversation with someone. We are way offline already, by the way. We haven't even gotten to the meat of this first story. We are way off the railings, and this is a packed show. We're going to be talking for 2 hours. I talked to a young woman that I work with who... The first piece of Star Wars that she has ever watched has been the Book of Boba Fett, that she started watching it with a friend of hers. She's never seen the movies.
Toe in the water right there.
Only started watching it because this friend of hers was like, hey, we should watch this. I want to watch it. Will you watch it with me? And she's like, yeah, sure. I don't know what's going on at all. And so I was like, well, welcome. I'm very excited to talk to you about Star Wars, because I said this to her, and I'll say it to you too. I think, well, nerds in general, but I feel like specifically Star Wars nerds really like talking to people that are just discovering Star Wars. Like, it's like, it's hard not to just like spew facts and love at that person.
Right.
But I just like, I want to know what you think of it. And
I 100%, if I come in that situation, I feel like Elder Hammond from the Book of Mormon. I'm just like, here, let me show you this amazing book. Enjoy.
Yeah. And I told her, I was like, not every Star Wars fan will tell you this, but I'll tell you this. Some Star Wars stuff, straight up terrible.
Yeah.
Just bad. No one really agrees on which one is bad, but you will, if you're taking this first step into a larger world, and you're about to experience all this stuff, you will be like, at some point, this movie's terrible. And that's fine. That's fine. You don't have to like all of them. You just got to watch all of them. You just got to know that everything that happened.
Yeah.
Anyway,
the lows can be very low. The highs are very high.
Sky high. Anyway, let's get back to the actual thing that we're supposed to be talking about. Obi-Wan Kenobi. We got some quotes and some interviews from Ewan McGregor, star of the show. He praised the director Deborah Chow, I guess, who directed all of the episodes. She also directed a few episodes of Mandalorian, so she's very Star Wars knowledgeable and has worked with Favreau and Filoni before, very knowledgeable about the universe, and he said as much in this quote. And then he went on to say, I think it's no secret that Hayden Christensen comes back and we get to play scenes together as Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker. And it was just fantastic to work with him again. I'm not going to give away anything else about the storyline. I think it's really going to satisfy Star Wars fans. We've heard that before. I always felt there was a story between episode 3, where I finished playing Obi-Wan in the movies, and episode 4, where Alec Guinness is Obi-Wan Kenobi. The writers and Deb Chow, the director, and I and everyone, I think they crafted a very fine storyline. I think people are really going to like it. Lots of positivity from Ewan McGregor, who we all have the vibe that he's very excited to be playing Obi-Wan Kenobi again.
I mean, he said for years that he wanted to come back to the character.
Yeah, that he would easily come back, and now he has. So, I don't know. Big, dangling a big carrot when he's saying it's really going to satisfy Star Wars fans, because we are a beast that cannot be fed.
Yes,
speaking
absolutely.
As a Star Wars fan. Like I just mentioned moments ago, nobody really agrees on what's good and what's bad. I think most of us know that it's not all on the same level of quality.
We agree some things are good, some things are bad. We'll figure it out after that.
Generally, we all love Empire Strikes Back. We all love The Mandalorian. Literally, everything else is mixed bag.
Yeah, but, there's really, it's like Empire, and usually most people agree on Rise of Skywalker at this point at the bottom, and somewhere in between, the rest all fall into place.
Yeah, I mean, New Hope is generally
Right.
up there. Obviously, Rise, I think, can either be can either be one of the bottom 4 slots, I would say.
Yep.
But I don't know that that's as universal as you think it is. I think there are people that really like Skywalker. But it's also early still. It's only been out a couple years. There's going to be revisitings and rewatchings, just like happened to me, where I'm like, I thought.
Oh, are we losing Mike? We don't know what Mike thought. Well, hopefully we'll find out what Mike thought momentarily. But the other thing that got dangled in that Obi-Wan Kenobi quote itself was the fact that he stated specifically Anakin Skywalker. And the question will be whether that means Anakin Skywalker in a flashback, or whether that means that he is back as Anakin Skywalker in the suit playing Darth Vader. So we'll see whatever ends up coming from that. I'm personally hoping for a little bit of both, and we'll see where that pans out. Beyond that, we did get other Star Wars news this week. Ray Stevenson, who is known for being in Punisher and Volstagg, was cast as a villain, confirmed to be an Imperial Admiral in Ahsoka, also confirmed not to be Grand Admiral Thrawn. So in the Ahsoka show, where we're all assuming they're going to the Outer Rim and going to meet Thrawn, or that he'll be tied into it, we now have Ray Stevenson as another villain that they will encounter. One thought that I immediately had was that he was going to come back as Admiral Gilad Pellaeon, who in the extended universe and the other accoutrements of that was Thrawn's kind of second in command. Also an Imperial Admiral himself, also a very compelling character. One of my favorites from the expanded universe. So there's a good chance that might be where he slots in, or as a completely unknown character that we haven't seen at all. So
who knows?
Yeah, we'll figure it out. And we have a mic back.
Sorry about that.
It's all good. One thing I did not know was that Stevenson was also, I think I mentioned he was Volstagg in Thor, and was in Punisher Warzone as Frank Castle, but he also was Gar Saxon in Rebels and the Clone Wars. So
that's true.
That was he already has some Star Wars chops.
Yeah, that's right. So that means he's worked with Filoni before. Yeah. That's probably why he got the job.
Yeah. So I don't know. You probably have no idea of what I vamped about. So you weren't here. But I was mentioning that Gilad Pellaeon was a character in the EU that was Thrawn's second in command, that was also an Imperial Admiral. That would be a pretty good tie for him, seeing it's been confirmed that he is an admiral of some sort. So we'll see where that goes.
Well, that would be super cool. All right. Yeah, good to see Ray Stevenson. I like him. I wasn't wild about that Punisher Warzone movie, but I should revisit it because I didn't understand the tone of it. I think it was
I think my problem now is if I see anyone playing Punisher that doesn't involve the Netflix show,
I know,
it just doesn't, it's not the same.
Yeah, I mean, that's clearly the best version. I think Warzone was just like over the top in a way that I wasn't ready for. It was over the top graphically, it was over the top comedically, it was like very like slapsticky. It didn't really fit together, but I think if I went in knowing what it was, I think I would enjoy it. There is a scene, I don't know if have you ever seen Punisher Warzone?
I haven't seen Warzone. No, I saw the first of that.
They're all different. Punisher. They're all different iterations though. So you saw the Thomas Jane.
Okay, yeah, I saw the Thomas Jane one, and then I've seen the John Bernthal stuff that we mentioned is the apex of it. But I never saw Warzone. I thought it was a sequel to the Thomas Jane stuff. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even realize Stevenson had played Frank Castle until I read it.
No, it's not a sequel. It is wild though. It's insanely violent, and there is a scene where there's a a bunch of characters that are what's that? Parkour dudes. They're just like leaping around all the time, like over the top insanity.
More power.
And somebody is, as one of them is leaping, like doing a backflip between buildings, like jumping from one roof to another roof in midair. The Punisher blows them up with a bazooka. Like, just
I kind of need to see this now.
Yeah,
just for posterity's sake.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I need to watch it again. Just thinking of that makes me want to watch again. Anyway, moving from a galaxy far, far away and Marvel, I guess we were just talking about Punisher, to the DC universe. This week, what we didn't get at the Super Bowl, something that I thought we were going to get, was a Black Adam trailer, a full-length Black Adam trailer. What we did get was The Rock introducing the game in his full, like, wrestler mode, I feel like.
Oh, 100%.
100% hype man.
That was like classic Rocky Maivia almost, like way back when.
Yeah. I don't know. Really thought we were going to get a Black Adam trailer. We did not. But this week we did get a first look at Black Adam, as well as some new looks at Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, and some footage from The Flash. I think was reused footage from what we saw from DC Fandom. I don't know if it was anything new. And also some shots of the Batman that, again, I think were kind of like stuff from trailers, just maybe seen like a new way. And this was like DC kind of released this trailer or hype video basically for the 4 movies that they have coming out this year: the Batman, the Flash, Black Adam, and Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. For me, the big story here is Black Adam stuff, because it's the movie that's the farthest along that we've seen the least of, I should say. Like, really, in the shot from Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom was just him walking out in like a different suit, standing on a cliff. It wasn't anything like radical. Again, the stuff from the Flash seemed like stuff we'd seen from Fandom. Batman seemed like stuff we had seen from trailers. Black Adam was full, and the stuff we got from DC Fandom of Black Adam was he was very cloaked, he was hooded, he was rising up out of a thing. It was dark, and he was using his powers a little bit, but we didn't get a full shot of him. This trailer, the teaser, I should say, does have like full daylight shots of him in the suit as Black Adam. We also get our first look at the Justice Society of America, including Hawkman, Cyclone, Atom Smasher, and Dr. Motherfucking Fate, played by Pierce Brosnan. I'm so excited for this because I'm a huge DC nerd. Hawkman is just this character that I loved when I was a little kid, and I didn't really understand all the ins and outs of the character when I was that young, and now I know he's a lot more complicated than just a dude with bird wings, but
that visual of the dude with bird wings, though, was beautiful.
Yeah, those wings just coming out from his back looked so great. We didn't really get to see. I don't think we saw Cyclone really doing anything. We saw the actress. We saw them. That's playing them, but we saw Atom Smasher getting really huge and like running through a city, and we saw a couple shots of Dr. Fate. One of him in the full garb with the helmet, which just looked so awesome. Another one of Pierce Brosnan kind of standing there saying something to assumedly Black Adam, I guess, holding the helmet. Man, I'm just really excited. I don't know, for those of you who don't know, Dr. Fate is basically DC's version of Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange was ripped off of Dr. Fate. There's a lot of Marvel stuff. I mean, DC started 20 years before Marvel. No offense to Marvel. Marvel took a lot of their ideas from existing DC characters. That's just true.
Hi, Felicia Hardy. How are you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hi, Hawkeye.
Right.
Here, my name's Oliver Queen. Nice to meet you. The one that while we're talking about this kind of thing, the one that you need to give credit to Marvel for was Namor came before Aquaman.
Yes.
That was the one thing that DC took from Marvel, an underwater guy.
And they just decided to not bother with Spider-Man.
You mean DC?
Yeah.
Didn't take a spider guy? Yeah, I guess they didn't. You know what? There might be a spider guy in DC, but I don't think that it's anybody that's
right. He didn't pass. He didn't pass the grade, at least at this point.
Yeah. And Marvel never really got like a Batman. I mean, they took like Daredevil's got some Batman stuff. Moon Knight's got some Batman stuff. Batman-y, but like none of them like rose to, like Hawkeye and Green Arrow. They're like on even tiers. Right. I feel like as far as popularity or like success, even like everyone loves Deathstroke. Also, everyone loves Deadpool. you know, Deadpool's had a movie and stuff, but like, you know, comics level, they're like on the same.
And if you wonder
level.
about ripping off, Deadpool's name is literally Wade Wilson. Like it was designed as a rip off.
Rob Liefeld's like, what rhymes with Slade? Wade. Yeah. Yeah, it's really the same last name and everything.
Oh yeah.
You ever seen Teen Titans go to the movies?
No.
Oh,
pretty good.
Really hilarious.
Nice.
You should watch it. It's really great. So funny. So many like deep cut references. And the bad guy is Deathstroke, or Slade, as they refer to him.
Yep.
And they first like break into. They're like like a crime alert goes off or whatever. They just go to stop him, and like he's the one there. It's the first time that they're meeting him. And they're like, "We're here to stop you, Deadpool." He's like, "What?
That's great.
I'm not." It's Will Arnett voices Deathstroke, by the way. It's hilarious. What? I'm not
better.
Deadpool. Yeah,
Nice.
they're like, "Dude, you look exactly like Deadpool." And he's like, "What? No, you should be saying that he looks like me. I came out like way before him." Like just like really like referencing the
just
material.
like diving
really
right into
funny.
it. Nice.
Yeah, it's great. Anyway, I love the look of all these characters that we got in this teaser, and it's exciting to finally see more Black Adam stuff because The Rock was cast in this role in like, I don't know, 2007 or something.
I was going to say, we definitely didn't have children. We may not even have known each other then at that point.
It's possible. We certainly weren't friends the way we are now.
Yeah.
We certainly weren't hosting a podcast together. It was a long time ago. I've been talking about Black Adam or hearing about it, waiting for it for a very long time. So I remember being mad that he wasn't going to be in Shazam. We're just like, what? This Rock's been cast as the villain before you found a guy to play Shazam, and now you're not putting him in the same movie? What is going on here? And it doesn't look like Shazam's going to be in his movie, but I don't know. Who knows? Black Adam 2, Shazam 3, maybe they cross paths finally. But that's what we got from the DC. And, you know, I was excited to see this. It was a cool idea for them to do this trailer being like, hey, we got 4 movies coming out. They all look dope. Check them out. You know, like I think that was a cool push for them.
So I did look up the date. It was rumored a lot earlier, but it was officially confirmed in 2014, 6 years ago.
Yeah. Yes, dude.
Dwayne Johnson would be playing Black Adam.
Yes. So long ago.
Insane.
Come on. Wait, 6 years? More than 6. It's 2022. No. 8.
Math is hard.
Yeah, math is hard. 8 years ago. Even worse.
Yep.
It's been so long. Anyway, all right. We are chugging through because we took a lot of time to talk about those things. We've already been talking about a long time. We're talking about comics, abbreviated comic section this week. But we do have one cool story. Marvel has announced a return to the universe of 2099. They're announcing a Spider-Man 2099 Exodus series. It's a mini series that's going to be written by Steve Orlando. He's the head of the creative team. He's got a rotating like kind of cast of artists that are going to come in and out for different issues. This is going to be celebrating the 30th anniversary of the 2099 verse. Now, Steve, you're a comics guy. I'm a couple years older than you, but were you as into like the 2099 collections as I was? I think we've talked about this recently when the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse trailer dropped,
right.
But refresh my memory. Were you in all the collecting of the 2099 verse?
No, so that was in my dark period with comics. As weird as it sounds. Okay. Like that era, that missed me, but it's like in hindsight, I was like mildly intrigued by the fact that they even did that. And crazy. I mean, it was a hit for people of our era. Yeah,
I remember at the time even thinking like, this is insane that they're doing this. Like they're jumping this far into the future, and it's like, you know, neon crazy cities and stuff. And I don't know, I was all for it, but I don't know that I collected any. I think I got #1 issues. I was very excited about them, and I don't know that I loved any of the characters enough to keep reading. I don't think I have a #2 issue of any of them. But anyway, this is a new story centered around Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man of 2099. It's going to see him crossing paths with a future Loki, a future female version of the Winter Soldier, and the 2099 X-Men. I don't know if they're going to be the same characters that we saw in the original run of X-Men 2099 or new X-Men characters. But this is super cool.
Tell me this isn't the standard Marvel tie of, hey, Sony's about to put out this 2099 tied into the Spider-Verse. So, or across the, whatever they called it. I don't know.
I can't tell you that it's not that. I'm probably positive that it is that.
Yeah.
To be clear, to be honest with you.
Hey, look, Sony wants to make money off this. Let's also make money off this.
Let's also make money off this. Yeah. Or, again, I would love to get some kind of look at the contracts between Sony and Marvel, or Sony and Disney, whatever, to do this, because it could be in the contracts. It could be like you have to promote what we're doing with what you're doing at the same time. But Steve Orlando is a great writer who actually went to my high school. I don't know if you know that, Steve.
No, I did not.
Yeah, apparently our mutual friend Adam knows him and knew him in high school. And I don't know where I was, but I never met him and did not know him. And I really regret it now. Boy, I wish I could text my buddy Steve Orlando and say, hey, remember those halcyon days of high school and we were best friends? I have a comic book coming out. Do you want to promote it? Can't do that. Womp womp. Missed opportunity. Anyway.
Seriously, I had no idea. Like, I've definitely read his stuff before, and it's like, huh, okay. That works.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, just talk to Adam about it. See if we can get his number.
Get him on the cast, man.
Get him on the podcast. Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks for coming on the show this week, Steve. Nice to have you. By the way, I have a comic book coming out. Would you like to promote it?
Here, enjoy. Oh, God.
Right. So we're going to keep cruising on into our one-shot section. We're not going to go over This Week in Comics, but trust us, every week there's always amazing stuff coming out at your local comic book store. So please go check that out. Always wonderful comics coming out. So again, because this is a packed week, we did 2 trailer reactions. Plus we talked about Star Wars for way too long. Plus we talked about the DC universe. We just talked about comics books. Now we're going to do one-shots, and we're going to dig into the Boba Fett finale. I said Boba Fett like he's some. I don't know.
Yeah, that was the latest iteration after he had a couple extra Twinkies and. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
We're also going to do Peacemaker recap and Boba Fett finale recap at the end of this. So, we got an extra long one-shot segment. We're probably going to spend a little bit more time than we normally do on each story, but we're trying to keep it tight. And we're going to go back and forth with these stories that we thought we wanted to touch on, but not necessarily dig into too much. I'm going to kick it off this week. Amazon, who we already talked about, is putting a lot of money into a pretty good looking Lord of the Rings series. Amazon is developing a Blade Runner. Speaking of 2099, Blade Runner 2099 series with Ridley Scott. Now, we talked about months ago, I think, on this show, Ridley Scott gave an interview where he said he was developing a Blade Runner television series and that the pilot episode had already been written. Lo and behold, he pitched it to Amazon and they're going with it. Now, obviously, this is set 50 years after Blade Runner 2049, which I believe is a cinematic masterpiece.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I'm all for more Blade Runner. Give it up. Yeah, I haven't seen
seems fine.
Yeah. What I haven't seen is that there's like an Adult Swim animated series called Blade Runner Black Lotus or something like that.
Really?
I don't know anything about it, but it looked cool. I saw like a trailer that looked cool, but I don't know. It's cool that Ridley Scott's involved. It's always cool when he's involved. Obviously, I can't imagine that we're going to see Harrison Ford and Ryan Gosling come back in it, but if they're throwing that much money at Lord of the Rings, who knows what they're going to snag for a Blade Runner sequel series.
Yeah. No, it seems like it's got some promise, so I'm all about it.
More as it happens.
Other things that may have promise. Disney has officially confirmed that Ironheart, the series about Riri Williams, the MIT savant that is creating new tech suits like Mr. Tony Stark, which I am amazingly looking forward to that series, by the way. They have officially cast Anthony Ramos in a quote-unquote key role that they have noted may have implications in the MCU similar to Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror. I for one, Anthony Ramos, I know from Hamilton. He was John Lawrence in Hamilton. And if we can bring those musical acts to the MCU, I would also be like, is he going to be starring in Rogers the Musical Part 2? Because I'm all in. But either way, he's actually broadened his horizons quite a bit and has a good number of screen credits to his name as well on top of the theater stuff. So it'll be. I have no idea what the cross-platform major implications type character would be for a Riri show, but I'm looking forward to it.
I know. I mean, I'm not so. I don't think I've ever read anything with Ironheart or Riri Williams actually in it. No, sorry, I should say I haven't read any like Ironheart centric books. I've read books that she's in, but as like a side character.
Right.
So I don't know if she has like a plethora of villains. If she has her own like rogues gallery, or it could be a villain, or it could be an ally or something. But the fact that they're saying it's a key role for big implications moving forward with the MCU makes me think that it's a bigger character.
Yeah.
Than that, like a character that we've all seen before, that has been in many things, and I don't know, something about it screams villain to me. But the
way it was phrased definitely seems to have those implications would be.
But I think it's just because they're comparing him to Kang, and we know Kang's going to be a bad guy,
right?
But that doesn't mean that it's definitely going to be a bad guy. What if he's an X-Man?
Yeah,
you know, what if he's Cyclops or something?
Could be. That'd be.
Yeah, it just could be anything.
As we talked about in our prior cast, anything involving the X-Men, I'm in. So.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. I don't know. It could be anything, but because we know that Riri Williams is making her debut in Wakanda Forever in Black Panther 2, right? We know that.
Yes, she is confirmed in Black Panther 2.
So I don't know. Is he somebody from Wakanda? Like, is he going to spill out of that movie? Is he going to spill out of Multiverse of Madness? Like, we never know. Just because he's appearing, just because he's been cast in Ironheart, doesn't mean we're going to see him there first. Right. Who knows?
Hey,
you know, because she's an Ironheart.
Maybe he's a live-action Miguel O'Hara.
Wow.
We've been on the 2099 kick. Why not?
Why not?
Oscar Isaac's already taken from being Moon Knight.
Yeah,
so
you're right.
Can't have the voice be it.
Damn. That's a dumb move. They should have waited to give him so he could be animated and live action Miguel O'Hara.
That'd be amazing.
What the hell? That would have been cool.
But
anyway,
along those notes, the last run of Ironheart, pretty solid. Worth checking out.
Most recent, you mean?
Yep.
All right, great. Awesome. All right. Little mini Marvel section here of our one-shots. We got Russell Crowe has been cast in Sony's Kraven the Hunter movie alongside Aaron Taylor Johnson, formerly MCU's Quicksilver, as Kraven the Hunter. No word on who he is playing, but this report has noted that the majority of the cast of this Kraven the Hunter movie is made up of his family members. Taking that into account, my money is that he's going to play his dad. That would be my guess if I had to guess.
Yeah, I can see that.
But this is Russell Crowe. Has he done other? Wasn't he in another Marvel thing or cast in another Marvel thing?
Yeah, he was. Oh god, he was definitely in something. I mean,
he's
I can picture him.
DCEU.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
But I thought he was in some other Marvel thing that I'm not thinking of right now. It was in like an
doesn't look like it. So, yeah.
All right, maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, yeah, Kraven the Hunter movie.
You know what? You know why we're thinking of that?
Why?
He was confirmed to play Zeus in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oh, okay, really?
Yeah.
I didn't think that's what I was thinking of, but man, okay.
I think we actually talked about it on the cast. That might have been a prior one-shot. So we just one-shot Russell Crowe all the time.
Yeah, screw Russell Crowe. He's a one-shot guy. So that's strange then, because then I feel like that's a schism between the MCU and the Sonyverse of what they can do, because, well, I guess they haven't really made too many moves on merging. Honestly, if you look at No Way Home, they really kind of did their best to stay separate by the end of it, you know?
Yeah, even... to the degree of like we're even gonna put it at the end and beyond. So
yeah, we're gonna make sure that all these characters you saw, they're all going away.
Yep.
They're all going back now.
And then your only one that you saw a teaser for is just gonna be another teaser at the end of this. So
yeah, and it's not that same character, it's just a thing from that character, you know, whatever.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, I feel like out of the movies that are Spider-Man movies without Spider-Man in them, I feel like this actually kind of has a chance to be intriguing and good. Not that Morbius is going to be bad. Who knows? But if I had to look at Venom versus Morbius versus Kraven the Hunter and be like, which is the most interesting character to have a movie without Spider-Man in it? I think I would choose Kraven.
Yeah, I mean, if you lean into the whole Kravinoff family and all of, you know, the Kravens over the years, and this is where he is now, and like his dad before him, et cetera, maybe they could make it work.
Right. Yeah. All
Or
right.
they could just go completely bonkers and off the wall and do the Hunted storyline from the whatever the last run of Amazing Spider-Man was. I can't remember who did that. Nick Spencer, maybe? Spencer. That was just taking all of the Spider villains and Spider-Man and putting him in a bubble in New York.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe
Just
that's
go
what
off the
they're
wall,
doing.
crazy. Like, that's going to be the Kraven movie.
You never know. We'll find out someday.
Yeah. You know, sometime after Morbius actually exists.
Yeah.
Whenever that day is. But things we know will soon exist, hopefully in a Disney Plus app. It has now been confirmed that as of March 1st, you can no longer watch Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Punisher, Defenders, and Iron Fist on Netflix. So that deal has been terminated, and likely they are returning home to the Disney streaming service. I am curious how that'll ultimately get addressed and whether it becomes canon or not canon or whatever. Yep. But either way, you're going to have a one-stop shop for most of your Marvel viewing pleasures.
Well, that's the thing, though. Those are R-rated shows.
Yeah.
You know, so are they going to go to Disney Plus? Because Disney Plus doesn't have R-rated stuff unless they do what we talked about in the past, what other countries do.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Yeah, in the rest of the world, you have an R-rated hub for Disney Plus.
Disney Plus Star or something?
Yeah, which we don't have, which I wish we did, because I want to watch my Alien movies at the click of a button.
Right.
But
I think what happened in the rest of the world is the rights for Hulu aren't split. So
sure.
Disney is it's
their only option.
Right. So they don't need to they can't throw it between the two, and it's just all on Disney.
Yeah. So I guess we could see these going to Hulu then in our country.
Yeah, likely. I mean,
it'd be a bummer. I would rather them all be on Disney Plus, I guess, but
I'd rather be on Disney Plus just for the interface. It's a lot cleaner than Hulu trying to navigate.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. But I can't see them putting a show that has Kingpin crushing a man's skull in the door of a car next to Encanto or Frozen or something, that seems.
Yeah, that'd be a great.
I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. So we'll see where they go. Who knows where they go? Who knows where they'll show up? We got a couple quotes from Charlie Cox about really hoping to reprise his role as Daredevil this week. So I don't know. They're all coming home. All those shows are going back to Marvel. Disney's going to own the rights. So there should be nothing stopping them from using any of these characters moving forward. But we will see what happens after March 1st. Speaking of Hulu has ordered a revival of Futurama. This is the second time this show has been revived. And this time, it almost has the entire cast. Isn't that cool? Almost all of your favorites are back, except
your personal favorite, well, my personal favorite, Bender Bending Rodriguez, has not been officially signed. So John DiMaggio.
John DiMaggio has not closed a deal to return as Bender with Hulu, and I'm pretty sure it's all money related. I think they're trying to undercut him and not pay him what he's worth. I think I saw Tara Strong, famous voice actor Tara Strong, retweeted an article about this and saying like voice actors are criminally underpaid and not treated as well as live action actors, and it's time for that to stop. So she's throwing her support behind John DiMaggio, of course. Both parties are saying that they hope that he returns as Bender. I don't think John DiMaggio wants anyone else to voice Bender, but Hulu has said they will recast the role if they cannot come to terms with John DiMaggio, which I think is dumb of them to do. I think that's gonna bring up so much immediate bad will towards this revival that they should not want. Like, I don't know that I love Futurama. I think it's really funny. I can't say that I've seen every episode. I've seen a lot of the episodes of it. I watched some of the original revival when it came out and enjoyed it.
Yep.
And I'm interested in watching more of this, but if they don't get John DiMaggio back, I don't know how interested I'll be because it won't feel the same. It won't feel right. I will feel bad supporting it if they don't get John DiMaggio.
There was definitely something to Bender that made it work. Like, you can't just throw somebody else into that. I
know. I'm not a fan. Pay the man, Hulu. Pay the man. Come on. All right, I'm gonna close out one shots with a couple light trailer reactions. Hit it off, Steve.
Well, a trailer that I didn't see, so you're gonna have to cover it.
Okay.
Lightyear.
All right, then. We should let's flip them around.
All right.
I'll do Lightyear. I just watched it tonight for the first time. We got a second trailer for Lightyear, the Buzz Lightyear origin story movie that we never thought we would get ever. Chris Evans taking over the role of Buzz Lightyear. Well, I guess I'm really looking for some confirmation here because it is strange. They're saying that Chris Evans is playing a version of Buzz Lightyear that is the real life Buzz Lightyear that the toy is based on. The toy that Tim Allen voices in the Toy Story movies is based on this real life guy named Buzz Lightyear, I guess. Convenient last name, if that's his real last name in the movie for a space ranger. But I just need to know, is this a movie like in the world of Toy Story? Like, think of Andy, right?
Yeah.
The boy in Toy Story that owns the Buzz Lightyear doll. Is he watching the news every night about an actual space ranger that is going off on missions and fighting? Like, do aliens exist in Pixar world, in that reality of Toy Story? Because that seems weird.
Yeah,
that seems weird to me.
It's definitely a rabbit hole that I don't know if maybe we'll find out an answer to it, but it's definitely one that has caused existential questions in my mind.
Yeah, it just seems strange. But this trailer I felt more Pixar-y than the first trailer. I feel like the first trailer just felt like they were trying to make animated Star Wars and taking it very seriously. When I loved it. This trailer definitely looks like there's like a lot of more comedy in it, a lot more Pixar like humor and heart. He has like a pet robot cat that seems to be like an AI assistant that seems very funny and interesting. Nice. And yeah, I'm very looking forward to this movie because it's just seems out there and weird, but also very cool that they can it seems like it's Pixar's version of Star Wars. And I'm all for that because Pixar's version of Marvel is amazing. The Incredibles. So like,
absolutely.
I'll take more Incredibles movies any day of the week. And I hope this is good enough to make me want more Pixar's version of Star Wars.
Yeah, no, that works. In other things that I didn't think would cause me to want more of something, much like this Lightyear trailer, apparently.
Yeah, man.
I have been a staunch critic of every non-Jurassic Park film. I am now excited to go see Jurassic World Dominion, which the new trailer dropped this week. It returns the big three from the original movie, or the big three that survived the original movie. And also brings in the Bryce Dallas Howard, Chris Pratt from the new trilogy, and turns it into what seems to be a compelling movie. I have no idea what it's going to ultimately be about, but the dinosaurs look really cool, and it doesn't look like it makes me want to not watch it. So I'm excited.
It is a very compelling trailer for sure. I think the cinematography in the trailer is great. A lot of really cool shots. And I've been fooled by Jurassic Park trailers before. I like you, Steve. I think the first Jurassic Park movie is great, and I don't really like any of the sequels.
Right.
I really like, as I told
Lost
you.
World was probably the closest thing to a good one for me.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah.
I should maybe rewatch it. That's the one I have. That's the one I've seen probably the least. I think I remember I saw it when it was out, and then maybe I watched it again later. I don't know. Maybe I might have only seen it the one time, to be honest with you.
I used to accidentally hate watch Jurassic Park 3 because it was on like TNT all the time.
Yeah, me too.
I would like throw it on because it was there, and it's like, it still sucks.
I actually kind of used to like Jurassic Park 3 because it was like, it wasn't like making, it wasn't trying to be something other than it was.
Right.
Like, it was just like, here's a reason for us to show you dinosaurs.
Right.
And that's it, you know?
Yep.
And you get Alan Grant. So that's like a big plus. Like, Alan Grant comes back for that movie. So that I was cool with that too. And yeah, there's definitely a lot of not great stuff in that movie, but I don't know. That was more fun to me than taking itself too seriously, which I kind of think the Jurassic World movies have done. But I gotta say, this trailer, there's no public record of this, but I swear to you, Steve, that when Jurassic World came out, and I saw Jurassic World, I didn't see it in the theater. I waited till it was on video because I wasn't excited about it. I was like, meh. I saw it, and I thought this: if you're gonna bring back the Jurassic Park franchise and you're gonna call it Jurassic World, what should have happened in Jurassic World is they have a theme park, but then the dinosaurs get out and they're loose in the world, and it's Jurassic World, and it becomes like The Walking Dead, but with dinosaurs instead of zombies. I said this however many years ago when Jurassic World came out. I said it to my wife. She can corroborate this story. And now it looks like that's finally what we're getting. And like at the end of Jurassic World, whatever the last one was, they set this up, and I was like, "Oh, finally! The third one is going to be the thing that I wanted it to be."
Right. It
and
only took
this
5
trailer,
movies in between.
yeah, and this trailer definitely delivers some really cool shot, like the whatever it is, like the sea creature. It's not a megalodon, but it's whatever. It's jumping out and grabbing that like
whatever. Yep.
Yeah, but whatever that comes out and grabs the lobster cage or whatever on that like fishing boat, and they put like that's dope. It was so cool. And like just looks the Tyrannosaurus in front of the movie screen, the Brontosaurus just on like some construction mining site, like that is cool. And people are standing around just like
there was
what
there
do we
was like
do?
a herd of Parasaurolophus that were like running with horses.
Like, yeah, it looks so cool. Yes, exactly. So again, I've been fooled by Jurassic World, Jurassic Park trailers before, so who knows? But this one definitely looks more promising, and I love seeing the original characters come back. So yeah, I'm in for this one tentatively. I'm sure, you know, trailer 2 might change my mind. Because I still don't care about Chris Pratt's character or Jessica Chastain's character based on the other 2 movies at all. I barely remember what happened.
That's who it was.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I miscredited.
Yeah. I barely remember what happened in the second Jurassic World movie, but you know, I guess I don't know. Maybe I don't need to remember, but I do think this one looks really cool, and it's as tangential to nerdy things that we talk about here. So, all right. So that was our one shots for this week. We're going to wrap it up with our standard Peacemaker talk and our Book of Boba Fett finale recap. Steve, I just learned before we recorded this, has not seen the most recent episode of Peacemaker. So what we're going to do, he's going to take his headphones off, and I'm going to talk about the most recent episode of Peacemaker, and I'm going to flail my arms wildly at him as a signal like this. It'll look like this, Steve.
Perfect.
When we're ready to come back on. I can't say that we'll go as long as we normally do because you haven't seen it. There won't be any back and forth. It'll just be me saying things that I liked about the episode to nobody.
Hey, I did it earlier in the episode too. It's fine.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So I'm going to peace out for a minute and let you talk about Peacemaker.
Peace out, Peacemaker.
Oh, there was the title. We
finally made it to
finally made it to the end of the thing.
Oh, yep. Finally made it. Well, we got one more episode.
Yeah,
so next week we'll call it Peace Out Peacemaker or Peace In Peacemaker.
There you go. All right. Flail wildly and whatever.
All right. I'll let you know. You flail wildly at me to let me know. Okay. Headphones are off? Okay. All right. So, Peacemaker episode 7. Boy, what an episode this was. Kind of like gut-wrenching at the beginning, right? Where we finally see the full scene of what happened with him and his brother. Ugh, that was really hard to watch. Robert Patrick continues to be just a diabolical, horrible, horrible person. I actually read a quote from Robert Patrick in reference to when he was talking about the character with James Gunn, basically saying James Gunn saying Peacemaker is a piece of shit person. You have to be worse than him. You are the reason that he's terrible. You have to be completely just bottom of the barrel, diabolical, horrible guy. And he is achieving that in this show in spades. My wife, I don't think, has seen Robert Patrick in anything else. She believes that he is a horrible white supremacist in real life. That's how he is as an actor in this show. So other tough stuff that happens. Myrn dies in this episode. Terrible. I don't know that I've ever been or ever thought I would get emotional about a CGI alien butterfly holding the finger of a character. But boy, that was rough. Little like pathetic little squeaks. But speaking of that character, Amelia Harcourt, she was incredible in this episode. I think Jennifer Holland is a great actress. And yes, I know she's married to James Gunn. Nepotism, blah, 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 whiny. She's incredible, I think. She's doing a very great job. Super strong character. Her scenes with Adebayo, Harcourt versus Adebayo, in a number of things. They're fighting together. They're also arguing about Adebayo's actions and motives and things like that. Just really, really incredibly written dialogue. Great points for both of them to be making against each other. And then obviously them having to come together at the end and Adebayo choosing to go forward with the mission. Very powerful stuff. Very, very shook up at the fact that I thought Eagly was going to be dead. Not a fan of that at all. Glad that he made it through for sure. Shocked, but not shocked that huge spoiler. If you've made it this far, just huge spoiler. Peacemaker kills his dad, shoots his dad in this episode. Wow. Didn't know if he was actually going to do it. I thought he was going to maybe like maim him, shoot him in the legs or something and like take him to jail. No, straight up dead. And also Vigilante continues to be amazing and hilarious, blowing himself up with a grenade while taking out the bad guys. Also, with the vets in the vet store saying, first he's saying he wanted to kill him, and then like, oh, if we tie him up, we should use something other than duct tape because it'll hurt their skin. It's like, you are a complete psychopath. Also, Judo Master continues to be amazing as well. So anyway, I think next week is the season finale of Peacemaker. So next week will be our final recap of Peacemaker. And I'm going to bring Steve back right now for the finale of Book of Boba Fett. So here we go. Flailing wildly. This is me flailing wildly, and his headphones are back on. Flailing wildly is over. He is back.
And
welcome back, Steve.
Back.
And we're back.
It's like everybody else never left, but I did.
Thanks for spending some quality time with me alone, people of the multiverse. Appreciate it. Now we're going to move into the Boba Fett season finale, our final episode of Boba Fett. Seen it yet? Starts right now. Steve, this was a...
It was a
I don't
mixed
know. What do you
bag.
think of this? It was a mixed bag. Yeah, I was about to say it was great because there were some great moments, but it wasn't all great.
It was overall. I'd give it more good than bad, but
Yeah.
definitely
Okay,
some
well-
things that need to get worked on.
Well, I have a question for you. I didn't watch this episode until Thursday night.
Okay.
You texted me Thursday morning to say, have you watched it yet? Because there's something you wanted to say to me, like a complaint, more or less, or an
Yeah.
observation from one Star Wars fan to another. And I said, sorry, I haven't watched it yet. But I also have something about the show that I kind of realized why I may not like it as much as something like Mandalorian. But you go first. What was the thing that stuck out to you that you wanted to talk about?
So what I was going to say to you is that and it's a bit of a take because I do like some of his other stuff, but I don't think Robert Rodriguez should be a Star Wars director anymore.
Really?
Yeah, just like
All right.
I'm thinking of and as an overall showrunner or whatever, there were highs, there were things that happened that I liked.
Yeah.
But like the 3 episodes that, or 2 of the 3 episodes that kind of left me a little subpar were 3 and 7, and he did 1, 3, and 7. So it's like, okay, I don't know if his vision, like, there was a little too much Robert Rodriguez-y stuff in there, and I think that could get honed out. But when you compare that to the episodes that, Bryce Dallas Howard or Filoni did, and it's like they're wildly different.
Well, here's the thing. It kind of ties into my thing that I was going to say about this. And my thing is not necessarily a Star Wars thing. It's about the show in general, and kind of like the writing and the piecing together of the show. You just mentioned Bryce Dallas Howard and Dave Filoni, the episodes that they directed, feeling better and feeling more Star Warsy than Robert Rodriguez. The episodes that Bryce Dallas Howard and Dave Filoni directed had nothing to do with Boba Fett.
Also true.
At all. They're about the Mandalorian, and they're about Grogu and Luke Skywalker.
Right.
So maybe that's the problem.
It could be.
Maybe that's the problem.
And it could be the rub for the show of maybe because those were shoved in there, it changes the whole dynamic of what my thoughts on the show were.
Yeah.
Because if those were supposed to be part of the show, it changes the whole dynamic of, like, if this was literally the enclosed, the mods, Kirstentan and Shand and Fett, and that was it, and we're watching them do what they're doing in the city, and maybe you take a couple of different steps here and there, but you get, instead of those 2 episodes, you get one more episode developing stuff in Mos Espa, and then the big showdown, and you don't have Deus Ex Shand walking around where she just pops up wherever she feels like, and you don't have Mando and Grogu being shoehorned into a reunion on a back of a Pelimoto speeder bike, which that was amazing. It was awesome. It had nothing to do with the plot, and then Deus Ex Machina Grogu decides to just force away everything, and it's like, okay, well, that didn't have anything to do with Boba Fett either. And it's like everything that I really liked didn't have anything to do with Boba Fett, and I think that's my problem.
Well, thanks for queuing up my thing that I was about to say. That was a perfect intro to what I'm about to say. Here's what I realized between episode 6 and episode 7.
Yep.
I think the reason that I'm not engaged as much with the Boba Fett stuff as I am with the Mandalorian is I don't know. Boba Fett is the main character. He's the title character. I don't know what he wants or why he wants it at all. Right. Like, I guess the what he wants, we know because they tell us he wants to be the new Jabba the Hutt and kind of rule Mos Espa. But
then he keeps saying they're my people, and it's like,
but why?
Right.
Why do you want that? Because here's the thing. We don't know anything about Boba Fett. We just don't. I know we saw him as a kid in Attack of the Clones. I know we saw him as a kid in a Clone Wars, which set up the most engaging moment of dialogue for Boba Fett in this entire show was him talking to Cad Bane about, I'm not a little kid anymore. Or yes, because we who have watched the Clone Wars have seen you interact with this character before. Yep. This is like one thing that makes sense for you to say. Right?
Him calling him old man was just like, oh, perfect.
Perfect, but also like, you are also an old man. And I know in the canon...
He's like 30 years younger. He's been ridden hard, put away wet a little, but... Of course.
And Cad Bane is an alien that, classic Star Wars excuse for characters being around too long. Yeah, they're an alien. They just live longer,
right.
So, okay, we see him as a kid in Clone Wars and in Attack of the Clones. We see him as an adult for 10 seconds in 2 movies. In one of those movies, he dies, or we think he dies. He gets knocked into a Sarlacc pit. We don't know anything about him as a person, what he wants, what he enjoys, blah, blah, blah. There's no motivation there at all. He climbs out of a Sarlacc pit, hangs out with Tusken Raiders, and all of a sudden wants to be, why? Why do you want to get out of the hut? There's no line of dialogue anywhere about when I was a kid, I was treated like this. I don't want people to be treated like this anymore. Yeah. Or my time with the Tusken Raiders has changed my outlook on life, and I don't want to be a bounty hunter anymore. And now I want to do
well, and that's
something.
That's what they tried to set it up with. Was they tried to make it this compelling. Okay, this Tusken flashback is going to show how he changed or why he changed, but there was this disjointed gap between the end of the Tusken storyline and him actually saying, he never once says why
Exactly.
to do anything.
There's no connection there. So like
Right.
we say, like, okay, yeah, now you can fight like a Tusken Raider and you have this cool stick and you're accepted by their tribe. All that is cool. All that's cool. But tell us how that has changed your mentality. Like, why don't you just go back to being a bounty hunter?
Yep.
Like what made you not want to be a bounty hunter anymore? Because we haven't seen anything that has made you not want to be a bounty hunter anymore. We haven't seen anything that has made you change your career aspirations.
Right.
To be the head of some crime family or whatever, or not even a crime. He doesn't want to run Spice anymore.
No,
he just
and
wants to
literally
like
at
rule.
the end says we're not cut out for this.
Yes, dude, it drove me crazy. I was like, are you telling me that you forced me to believe he wants to be the ruler of Mos Espa for an entire season, and then at the end you're working in dialogue that says he doesn't want to do that?
Right.
Literally, early in this episode, you said, these are my people. I'm not going to abandon them. These are my people. And now you're saying like, yeah, I'm not going to do this anymore. Just because you don't like waving. Like, what are you doing? Like, this show, if this show has a second season, they got to give me some like hard motivation for this character, why I should care about him, why I should care about the things that he's doing, because this season did not do that at all.
Yep.
And I think they tried to I think they tried to have shorthand, like, oh yeah, Boba Fett. Everyone loves Boba Fett, so you're going to watch this show about Boba Fett and you're going to love everything he's doing because you love Boba Fett. Guess what? Not all of us love Boba Fett.
Right.
A lot of people love him because he looks cool. And if you love him, that's literally all you have to go on. He looks cool. That's it. I'm not someone that loved Boba Fett, and this show didn't make me love Boba Fett.
No.
But it did remind me why I love The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Right.
So that's all I got to say.
I mean, that's 100%. I was looking at my as I was watching it, I was scratching a couple of notes down. The tactics, like the mods, for one, the mods. I think they could have solved my issue with the mods, and I think I saw this on Reddit or whatever I was reading around. My issue with the mods is not that they're, that they look out of place on Tatooine. It's that there's no justification for why they look out of place on Tatooine.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Why they are resorting to stealing water, but still have these crazy speeder bikes that go 2 miles an hour and mods that, were put in by an amazing bass player. It's like this whole... that's what it was. I saw a Photoshop picture of them put on a Coruscant background. And it looked perfectly normal. It looked perfectly Star Wars.
Sure.
But it's like, if they'd have had even a line of dialogue of like, yeah, we tried to come to Tatooine and we just, we lost a race and can't get back to where we wanted to go, or, we're down on our luck or whatever. If there was something to say why, like, it may have been more believable.
A line of dialogue's like, hey, what's with the bikes?
Right.
And they're like, well, we want to rebel against all this other blah, blah, blah. Anything. Yep. Anything would have been great.
Yeah, like
anything would have been great.
I have no problem with the group of punks that are sitting around the corner listening to Black Flag or whatever, or Anti-Flag or whatever they feel like, any other flags. But let me know why.
Right.
So I don't know. That one said odd. And that went on a tangent because with them it was like they're the ones that convinced Boba to go downtown and defend the bombed out sanctuary for some reason.
Yeah, to have that be like the base.
And
like,
okay,
I
cool.
get that rationale was good. They're like, if you're hiding in your palace, if you care about these people,
right, defend it from there.
People see you hiding in your palace, they're not going to take you seriously. Like, that made sense to me.
Right.
Like, yeah, okay. The voice, like in that moment, the mod served as like a voice of the people, speaking to power, but also like, I don't know, Boba Fett's not like a king. He's like, he should be in that mindset already. He should be the one that's thinking that. He shouldn't have to be reminded
he
of
doesn't
that.
want to be carried around on a gurney or whatever they're called.
Yes, exactly.
But then they go from that to, let's just stand behind the vehicle that's in front of the thing instead of using the jetpacks that are on our backs. And
hey, you did finally get the jetpacks, though. They did use the jetpacks, finally.
But again, it's like we used the jetpacks to gain this advantage and then promptly decided to shut them off and go stand behind the thing with everybody else. Because tactically, why would we, the most famous, and I heard this from somewhere else. This is the problem with us sometimes doing it a couple days later, but somebody, I remember hearing the most famous line of dialogue from your franchise is about the high ground. And every chance you have to get the high ground, you just give it up. And it's like, what?
Don't take it. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about some stuff that we did like. I did like. We saw an X-wing flying again. Love an X-wing. For a second, I was like, "Are we getting fucking more Luke Skywalker in this finale?" And then it's like, okay, R2. We did get more R2, which I always love. Then the line of dialogue that made it clear. She said, "Did
he not even think to strap him into a seatbelt or something?" Like,
yeah, he's just hanging out in there,
just like walking around the cockpit.
Clearly goes to show he does not know Grogu very well, because I'm sure that Grogu took off many switches and knobs just to like play with.
Luke gets his X-wing back. There's no knobs. It's just flat.
Yeah, just console. Everything's gone. Yeah. Grogu's got like his robe is just full of like different accoutrements stuff like hanging on the inside.
Or was that R2 like zapping him every time he tried to do that? It's like a shot collar for a dog.
Yeah, that would have been great. And I just love, like, it's so cool. Like, it's great that we know that he's gonna be back for season 3. Yeah. Because at the end of season 2, Mandalorian season 2, I loved Luke Skywalker coming in and him handing, like, that made sense. It made sense. The whole quest was like to him to bring him back to his people, make sure that Grogu was safe. And
he even had the discussion with Ahsoka in season 2. Like, I need to find.
Yeah. Everything was on track. Everything made sense. So it's not. It doesn't seem like a, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a quick like offshoot to this other thing, and then go back to the main story. It seems like it makes sense within the world that this would happen, and Luke gives him a choice. And there was a lot of there was like people saying from last week to this week saying like, oh, they're gonna rewrite the sequel trilogy because the sequels are so bad, and because Ben Solo's supposed to be the first student, and now Grogu is that. They're signaling that they're gonna like decanonize the sequels, and I'm just like, dude, they're not gonna decanonize the sequels. We don't know what his choice is. Maybe he just chooses the shirt and goes back. And guess what? That's what he did. Right. He chose the
you got the shirt.
Yeah. It was so great. Like I just loved that reunion. Was so good. Hey, you got the shirt. It was just like Mandalorian is like he's trying not to be emotional when you can tell he's like really excited, but he's trying to like keep it down. You can tell like that was a moment where he's like, hey, you got the shirt.
That hit me as a total dad moment. You're just like,
absolutely
gotta keep the straight face, but you got it.
Yeah. So even though, like I was saying, I loved the moment at the end of season 2 when we got to see Luke Skywalker and hand it over Grogu. It was very emotional. At the same time, at that time, I thought, well, what the hell is season 3 going to be if Grogu's not in it? Like the whole show is the dynamic between the two of them, and him have to look out for him. It's like I'll protect you, stay with me kind of thing. So I'm glad that he's back, and I'm glad that we get more of the two of them moving forward in Mandalorian, and we'll see what happens there.
And now I do get why the cast basically referred to it as Mando 2.5. But the thing is, if you're going to do that, market it as that. Because I guarantee whenever Mando Season 3 drops, if my wife wasn't my wife and didn't have me saying, hey, you're going to need to watch this, she would, whatever they do at the start of Mando Season 3 is going to be like, where'd he come from?
Yeah, where'd he come from? I thought he was gone. Yeah.
So, I don't know. That's going to be funky.
We also got what we all wanted was Boba Fett riding a Rancor.
Yes,
which was awesome. Super cool, like giant destroyer droids, by the way.
Yeah, like that, droidekas on steroids.
Yeah, that apparently have been developed sometime after the Empire crumbled, but we never saw them during the actual
Clone Wars.
Clone Wars or the Rebel victory over the Empire either. But cool, and it's cool they referenced there's a whole like a mini arc in Clone Wars where they're training like the Rebel. Is it Clone Wars or Rebel? It's Clone Wars, right?
There's the Onderon arc with Saw Gerrera where we first meet Saw Gerrera.
They're training Saw Gerrera's rebels to like slowly roll the thermal detonators at a certain pace that disrupts the force fields and goes through. And I think it was like Din was like, our we can't fit through.
Yeah.
Our blasts go at too strong of a velocity to make it through. Is what he referenced
he's like
the velocity.
he was like our kinetic weapons are too fast and our lasers are too weak or something like that.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, that's cool. I was like, you gotta roll it slowly. And my wife's like, what are you talking about? It's like a Clone Wars thing.
But then at the same time, their final demise worked out well because Chrysanthemum, who magically got better again after being shot 17 times.
Yep.
He's like, shot, limping, perfectly fine. Shot, limping. I'm like, okay, whatever.
No,
but
I'm okay again. Yeah.
he was like, he was pushing on the one with the Darksaber on the other side, and it was like, okay, this combination of things brought it down. It wasn't just like, something worked. It's like, no, it took some steps, which I was glad it wasn't just like, they magically did it, saved the world, problem solved. Like there was some tactics there, something behind it.
Yeah, and as much as I loved, like you mentioned earlier, as much as I loved Baby Yoda stopping the Rancor and then curling up next to it to sleep.
Oh, that was a phenomenal scene. But again,
I thought it again, give Boba Fett something to do. Like they set up that the Rancor imprinted on him or whatever. You're able to ride it. You should be the one that calms it down.
Right.
You should run out and be like, it's me. Stop.
Right.
I'm your master or whatever. Stop.
Yeah. To come back to a prior conversation, he needs to do the Chris Pratt in Jurassic World and tame the Rancor again.
Yeah, I know. And again, it made sense that Baby Yoda could do that with the Force, of course.
Yep.
And it was fun and it was cute and I love Baby Yoda, so yeah, do it. But also, for the sake of your own show, give your main character something to do. I mean, they did give him something to do, which is murder Cad Bane, apparently. Do you think that Cad Bane is dead, or is he going to come back?
Do I think he should be? Yes. Do I think he is? I really don't know. That's.
I think he should be as well.
Yeah, it was fitting with the timing and everything. And to be fair, if you'd have seen, the deleted Clone Wars episodes, that already happened.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I haven't not seen
it. It was
episode.
implicated that Boba had already killed Bane at one point.
Oh man. Here's what I think. I'm just realizing this right now. Cad Bane should have been in this show the entire time. It should have been set up. It should have been, for those that didn't already know, the relationship between those two characters should have been the crux of the series.
Yeah.
And whatever power relationship or father son trainer trainee relationship should have been heavily leaned on and culminated at this moment of this showdown at the end, instead of just forcing all that into one episode. Let that develop, let people that haven't seen Clone Wars really get into it, have them feel a stake in these two characters, some emotional stakes, and that drive Boba Fett to kill his, former mentor and trainer or whatever. You know what I mean?
Which, if you hadn't seen Clone Wars, you would have no idea about that. You wouldn't know that Jango trained Cad, and that Cad trained Boba, and there's this long history there.
It's a really powerful familial relationship that they could have really leaned on that would have made us care about Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm. It's like they stripped everything that would have made us care about Boba Fett out of the show about Boba Fett. Yeah,
I feel like it was like it was like how I feel like Warner Brothers did with Batman vs Superman and the first Justice League, the theatrical cut of Justice League was hey, these characters, you care about them, right? We're just gonna smush them all in a movie. We don't have to give you any background on Ben Affleck's Batman. We can just hint to it, and you'll put it together. Batman, it'll be fine. Right. You guys know, right?
He's a bat. He's a man. It's okay.
Yeah, you guys know the Flash, right? Yeah, we just throw him in this movie. You guys will come to see it, and it'll be billions of dollars because you know these characters. You got to give us some development, man. You got to give us a solo Affleck movie before he fights Henry Cavill. Don't give a shit about him fighting Henry Cavill. We haven't seen him before. There's no development. Anyway, I feel like they were leaning too heavy on the shorthand and assuming everyone loved Boba Fett enough to come to the show. I saw someone else point out on Twitter that I thought was very funny that when they announced a Mandalorian show, people were like, "Oh, this should just be a Boba Fett show." And then they made a Boba Fett show, and everyone's like, "This should just be season 3 of Mandalorian."
It is kind of crazy to think about. Like, if you'd have told me 2.5 years ago that I would much prefer watching a random show about a character that was just created over the backstory on what Boba Fett's been up to, I don't know where I would have leaned, but I can tell you where I lean now.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, I think that's all we got on what feels like, to me, a very long and expanded episode. I know we're going to cut it up, our 2 trailer reactions into a couple other episodes, but...
Oh, it's already been cut up, my friend.
Oh, well, it's true.
So if you're listening to this, you've already seen 2 episodes show up in your feed before us about the Lord of the Rings trailer and the... Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power trailer. Still won't get that right. And Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So
if you missed those for some reason, go and check them out. But yeah, we've been just recording for a long time now, and I feel like I don't know how long we've been going, but I think it's time to say goodbye.
I think it probably is. So if you need to subscribe, check us out at themultiverseport.com. Multiverse Report on all the socials outside of Twitter. That's Multiverse RPT. Get a hold of us. Drop us a line at themultiverseport@gmail.com. Reviews are always welcome, appreciated. And yeah, just get a hold of us.
All right. Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time in the Multiverse.